this car has become incredible. The Ferrari 458 Italia Group 3 car in almost the whole of Gran Turismo Sport and the early Gran Turismo 7 days was absolutely shocking to drive. But since update 1.20 and beyond, mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars in Gran Turismo 7 are fantastic, and this is one of the best. It sounds incredible, it looks incredible, with the Valentino Rossi livery on it is absolutely superb. In this video, I'm going to give you my tune and my tips for the Sardegna to get some absolutely fantastic circuit driving in this Ferrari 458 Italia Group 3 car. You can get it from Ferrari Brand Central, 450,000 credits, and you earn them back within 25 minutes. Only available in red from the manufacturer, as you'd expect, but we can fix that with a livery. There's plenty in the Discover in Gran Turismo 7. I went for the Valentino Rossi VR46 Monster livery. Here is the setup on screen right now. Just copy the details. The main things here is to use the racing hard tyres. Rear downforce is set to maximum, and you can tune the front downforce depending on whether you want a bit of understeer or oversteer. 430 is the number that I like to use. It's quite in the middle. Reduce the front downforce to promote a bit of understeer. Increase the front downforce to make the car a little bit more pointy, but perhaps a little bit harder to drive. The only other significant thing you need to get from the GT Auto Tuning Shop is the high RPM turbocharger to raise your horsepower just a little bit more. And the next important thing of the setup is to use the brake balance controller and set it to -5 brake balance nearly all the way to the front. This is going to help with tyre wear to really save those rear tyres as much as possible. For the rear differential, set it like this on screen. I've got a video on my channel. Go and check that out, explaining everything to do with LSD. You can fine tune this to change the way the car drives to be very specific to you. We're going to head over to Sardegna for the World Touring Car 800 race, a big money race. And in this one, start straight away fuel map 4 and use fuel map 4 throughout the whole of the race. That will get you into a safe two-stop strategy. We'll be pitting at the end of lap number 5 and at the end of lap number 10, but straight away off the line. We've got great power in this car, and it absolutely is a pleasure to drive. And just listen to the engine roar. It is such a fantastic driving experience, guys. A little bit of lift off oversteer, but it's so manageable. It just floats into the corner really nicely, especially through this left-hander here. You can just float it in down to 3rd gear, and then on the right-hand part down to 2nd gear and accelerate away nicely. As always, guys, I'm playing this on hard difficulty. If you want to guarantee the win, you can complete this race on easy difficulty. There is no difference in the payout, but I like to keep things fun, keep things fresh, give me a bunch of cars to race. But really, quite honestly, no one touches this car in this race. We can absolutely dominate. I think we end up winning by over a minute, even on hard difficulty. The sister Ferrari there is obviously slightly underpowered. We've got that high RPM turbocharger, absolutely blowing his doors off down the straight there. Through these corners, you want to be braking just after the 150 boards to get your car stopped, certainly when you're heavy on fuel. And this is the most difficult part of the track, especially on lap 1. The AI just stalls, and they really just cause problems through this section. There's going to be a little bit of contact with the Vision GT car, but we're going to get on the brakes now into the final significant corner of the track, down to 2nd gear. I wouldn't recommend using 1st gear with this tune. Not on this track at all. 2nd gear is perfectly fine to get out the corners, save the tyres a little bit, saves you from spinning up those rear tyres. And you see we're just blowing their doors off down the straight here. I'm going to switch to the draft and then just slip to the inside of that BMW. And what a fantastic car this is to drive. Let me know in the comments below when you've tried this car. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts. And that Subaru is going to get me on the brakes now, but we're going to have no resistance here. We're going to sneak to the inside on the kink, and we're going to run it around the outside. Oh, fantastic stuff here. Skipping forwards to the end of lap number 5. This is going to be our first pit lap, and we're going to come into the pits. We've got to make enough fuel to get there, no problem. A new set of racing hard tyres. Looking at the tyre wear, it looks quite significant, but the new tyre wear model means that is still perfectly acceptable levels of grip. And in fact, more than anything, I can set my fastest lap times towards the end of the stint on those worn tyres, but with the light fuel load. Every single fuel stop or pit stop, fill the car to the maximum. There's no point really cutting it too fine on fuel. But a tip very specifically to Sardegna is on pit exit, try to stay as far to the right as possible. When you get to drive the car and take over, it's so easy for the AI to wipe you out. So just consciously as you take over the car from the AI, keep as far to the right as possible, and it gives you the best chance to avoid the AI coming barreling through and blindly clattering you up sometimes. So just a good tip there for that one. This is my fastest lap of the race coming up right now. I'm going to talk you through this one. First braking reference is between the start of the curb and the orange on the barrier. On the brakes now, down to second gear and flowing through the corner nicely, blending in the throttle on corner exit, and you can take this kink flat out, sneaking to the inside of that lapped Porsche there. The next braking reference is the 50-meter board. Get on the brakes, down 2 gears for this flowing left-hander, and on the switch over down to second gear and hugging the apex there, exiting the corner quite nicely, all the way up to 4th gear. This is a critical corner now. You need to just downshift 1 gear and just bring the car to the apex. If you just brush that curbing to the inside, it helps to bring you around. We slightly miss it there, so a little bit of time left on the table for us. The next significant braking zone is going to be between the 150 and the 100 board. As your car gets lighter through your stint, you can brake a little bit later, so I'm going to brake almost halfway between there, about the 125 meter board, down to second gear, again just brushing that concrete to the inside. Avoid the barriers. The barrier contact is critical. This is the most difficult corner on the track. This kink to the right, just ease off the throttle, keep the car right, and then down 1 gear and flow it to the left. Just a little bit wide there for ourselves. That is the most difficult corner on the track, so take care to learn that one. Certainly when the AI are around, they can cause absolute chaos in that corner there. They just seem to just hang up. Absolutely shocking driving from the AI, but this is going to run out the lap now. Just a little bit of a blend off throttle coming onto the main straight now. You can get through flat out, and that's going to get us a 136.3. In other races I've been able to get to 136.1 and potentially into the 135s. End of lap number 10. This is our second pit lap. Again, same strategy before. We're going to go new set of racing hard tyres. Although we can get to the race with a slightly underfilled car, I'm going to just fill the car to the top, get that new set of tyres on, and perhaps on the final lap of the race you can just turn up that fuel mixture a little bit to a bit rich, maybe mixture 1, mixture 2, mixture 3 maybe. Just be cautious of the amount of fuel you will be using, but you can really start to push towards home for the final lap of the race. Again, on pit exit, keep as far right as you can just to avoid any cars coming down the main straight on a flying lap now. Skipping forwards now, last lap of the race, entering the final corner, we did just up the mixture to fuel mixture 2, just to try and push it home a little bit more, and we're going to get across the line, and race time is going to be 25 minutes something. Let's see what it is. And it's going to be 25 minutes 25 seconds, and I've done that quite a few times, the exact 25 seconds, and honestly, it feels great to drive. I'm sure there are faster cars out there. You can detune the Mazda 787B and get a 24-minute race time or something like that. But racing this Group 3 Ferrari 458 is just absolutely fantastic stuff. Racing the Group 3 cars against other Group 3 cars, the way the car drives, it just feels great. It's going to get yourself dialed in for any daily races that you want to do. It's going to improve your driver rating. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. Have you tried this car out yet in Gran Turismo 7 since update 1.20? As it's all going to kick off there early in a previous race. It's going to get me some damage, but I still managed to get it a really fast race time, even with this chaotic start to the race. If you have found this video useful, then make sure you smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. If racing around Sardinia isn't your thing, then on screen right now will be a link to the Tokyo Expressway guide and tune for a fantastic car to complete that race. Go and check that video out, and we'll catch you in the next one.